Okay, here's my rescue. So this thing sits on in this position here, rotated it around so I can show these two a little more easily. Here's the dainty little screws that held on that dust shield. So to give myself a good fighting chance, of course I pre-soaked it, and then I took an impact socket, it's a 10 millimeter, and an extension, gave it a couple of good sharp strikes with a big hammer. This might seem like overkill. The deal with a big heavy hammer is that you don't have to swing it as hard to transfer the energy. You take a little ball peen hammer, you'll be like ding 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 like a woodpecker. You're not going to hurt it because you're actually you're hammering straight in against it. And they all came loose really nicely, which is a relief. Look what I found underneath the heads of the bolts. Okay, you can still see the washer signature on that one. So I'm not sure what happened here. I was expecting to see that the washer would have corroded right through the panel. Instead, the panel basically seems to have cracked and separated itself. I don't really understand that. I don't know what happened there. Anyways, all the bolts had little, I thought at first they were washers, and then I was like, wait a minute, those are pieces of the dust shield. So, look at how short the threads are on that. And I was going to make some little repair here with washers. Well, I don't have enough threads to work with. But I do have a little supply of spare fasteners. It's a rule for life. Don't ever throw away fasteners, ever. If you get something and it has extra bolts, well, okay. If you put something together and you have extra fasteners left over, you are an IKEA meme. Figure out where they went. I remember back in the day when they didn't give you extra stuff, and then people would lose one or two pieces and then go back to the store and complain that they have to buy extra pieces. Now quite often they throw one or two extra ones in, and then you're playing mind games because you find the extra pieces and you're like, okay, did I forget these pieces, or are they extras? I don't even know. And of course we don't read instructions, so you know, they might even say it in there, one extra piece, but we'll never know because we don't read instructions, right? Or maybe the instructions list the amount that you need for the product, but then the extra one is just like a random and you don't know. So anyways, I have, this is a 6 millimeter by 1 thread pitch. It's a match. I've already threaded it in there to check. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to make a sandwich out of fender washers, okay? I have two different sizes of fender washers here. That size and that size. I don't know what size they are. The smaller size fits the bolt much better. The large size is a little bit more sloppy. I'm going to use these as the backer. Okay, so I'm going to put one back there, and that thing will sit like that. I'm going to put one in there, and then I'm going to thread the smaller fender washer and the bolt through that. And I'm going to make myself a little sandwich and pinch the plate into place. And of course this is super fumbly when you're trying to do it fast for the camera. Never happens, right? Performance anxiety. Anyway, you get the idea, okay? This is not going to be a terrific repair. It'll get me through the winter. What I can do then in the spring is actually take a couple of these. I think I'll probably end up cutting this thing off, take it off the car, and weld a bunch of these in. The other option I've got is to buy one of these and then just simply cut the legs off the back of it so I can slide it on. The new one will have the proper size holes in the right place. I'll be missing this little web. I'm not really worried about that. You get a bolt here, so that part isn't going to flop around. You get a bolt here, so that part isn't going to flop around. I really don't know how important this is. I'm going to say it's not important enough to matter. Now, this won't be something I can get from an aftermarket, I wouldn't imagine. I'll see. If it's stupid money, then I'm just going to weld a bunch of fender washers on it. And if it's cheap money, then I'll buy a new one, cut the web out of it, slip it on, bolt it on. I'll do that in the spring when I take my winter tires off. This will basically affect my repair. I'm also going to use lots of this, okay, copper anti-seize. So this stuff is going to go on the threads of the bolts going in here. It's also, I'm going to put a bit of it inside the hex fitting in here, so that in the spring when I go to take this off, that I have a good shot at getting in there, and then it won't be all full of sand and salt from the winter. Okay, this doesn't experience quite as much heat. I mean, it will. You'll get some heat from the brakes coming back there, but this stuff is also rated to 980 degrees Celsius or 1800 Fahrenheit. So I'm pretty confident that that stuff will do its job. So here I go. I'm going to finish it. I'm going to put it back together again. I don't think there's any benefit in videoing the rest of it. It's basically assembly and the reversal of the disassembly. So hope this is helpful for somebody.